We're scared to even face the fact that we may be greater than we even believe ourselves to be. For so long, I've always just found myself to be a procrastinator. But come to find out, there's actually science-backed research on why you might be avoiding some of the things you want to, even though you know it's going to contribute directly to your success. Hi, I'm Jaden. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Have Breakfast, a podcast and show for the 20s and 30-somethings that are going through something and trying to build the best version of their lives. Now, I've gone through some life changes recently, and it's just made me really evaluate everything that has gone on this past year and how I can be showing up better for next year. Because I want to make sure I'm using the most out of my time, and I don't want to let these years pass me by and feel like I've done nothing. And I feel like I've always just procrastinated on things. Come to find out, I'm not even a procrastinator at all. Have you ever hit a major goal and as soon as you're done with it, you feel the immediate need to procrastinate or start drama or just blow something up in your life? This could be something like a promotion, a really good grade on a test you studied hard for, something like that you have just put a lot of time, effort, and energy into, and now that you finally got it, you kind of want to shrug your shoulders. This is a horrible self-sabotage pattern that I feel like a lot of us get in this loop cycle with. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about some of the psychological reasons that we may self-sabotage and how we can really level up and start to become a better version of ourselves. Because to be honest, as soon as you recognize the pattern, you know it's time to do something about it. So let us do something about it. I am personally always doing this. Now that I've done the research and I have a better understanding of why, I get it. But for a long time, I didn't understand why I possibly was doing this. Something I know I don't need to be doing, where I just hit a major goal or I spent my whole day doing something. Whenever a big opportunity comes my way, it's almost like I don't know what to do with it. And instead of immediately trying to figure out a solution, I kind of just let it marinate until I almost forget about it. And then I'm like, oh, wait, this cannot fall off my radar. I need to do something about it because it's something that I really want to do, but I didn't realize this was psychologically backed for the longest. If you have examples that are kind of similar to this, it's happening because of the upper limit problem. This is a coined term by Gay Hendricks as an internal happiness thermometer that automatically pulls you back to your comfort zone when you're exceeding its settings. Now we're gonna get real deep for a second, okay? The truth is humans have a psychological need for their actions to align directly with how they view themselves and align with what they believe about themselves. So if you unconsciously believe that you don't deserve these opportunities or that these opportunities are too big for where you're at right now, that creates a mental conflict for yourself because you are stuck between a crossroads, between having an opportunity in your lap and unconsciously thinking that you don't deserve it. So because this feels so unfamiliar and you really are battling two different odds, you self-sabotage, even if that means you're unhappy or you're making yourself more unhappy or uncomfortable. It's like you just cannot process having this thing. So instead of feeling secure in this new opportunity or this new big shiny thing, you're like, I'm going to go back into my shell. I'm going to cover my blanket over myself and I'm going to forget it even happened. We're scared to even face the fact that we may be greater than we even believe ourselves to be. And so we self-sabotage. I know I do, unfortunately. Based on research, this can show up in a numerous amount of ways. I know we all have our own ways of self-sabotaging, but some of the ways might include getting sick. I know a lot of people talk about working myself until I'm sick or stressing myself until I'm sick. So some of that might come from dealing with this internal battle and feeling like you're self-sabotaging almost to the extent that you do stress yourself sick. It can be emotional. Maybe you're creating conflict in areas where there really doesn't need to be, or you're just looking for reasons to be upset about something or with someone. It could also be financial. And I know this is where I'm This is where I think maybe we could all use a little bit of work, but with financial, maybe you are spending more than you need to. You're making these like big, impulsive, large purchases just for the sake of making them or avoiding what you really need to be facing. I have many pieces of clothes. I could tell you exactly why I bought it, where I was, and what I was avoiding. And then another one that I think often gets overlooked is time-based procrastination. So prioritizing smaller tasks that you know don't really amount to the bigger picture, but prioritizing those instead of this big thing that you have to do because it helps you avoid it. And I think sometimes we can be scared of success because there is a societal pressure to have success, to be successful. It's that thing where the higher you get, the more you climb, the more attention you get, the more eyes are on you. And because of that, you feel like there's no room for error or failure, and you're inviting so many more opinions into the mix. And a lot of that can lead to anxiety about failure, which is part of the reason why we're struggling to start. A lot of that anxiety is more so about maintaining the success or the facade of having success, and the vulnerability that it takes to admit that people are seeing me for who I am and I'm scared to fall. And if I fall, people are going to see me doing it. And I can't do that. And so instead of actually getting up to start or to try, we just avoid it altogether and self-sabotage. But not anymore. Not anymore. So if you feel like I've hit the nail on the head, this is kind of some of the patterns that you're exhibiting. We are going to get ourselves out of this pattern one step at a time. The first step is to start tracking your ceiling and get a better understanding of where this pattern is triggered. So spend time 1 week really just journaling almost your every move of what is going on, what's in your inbox, what opportunities are coming into your lap, and what is starting to overwhelm you in ways that you didn't realize. This is like using yourself as a case study to get a better understanding of when and why you are exhibiting self-sabotage. I know for me, a lot of times it kicks in the weekend where I know I have so many things to do, but because I want to relax and I want to chill, I spend the bulk of the morning drinking coffee, feeling bad about myself because I know I need to get up and do something, but instead I'm sitting on the couch and I'm just like waiting for the signal to get up. And before I know it, half the day has passed and I have missed out on my opportunity to really get a lot of the things done in the window that I had. And these are things that I know, but instead of actually getting up to do it, I'm time procrastinating. And now that I have the science to back it up, I have a better understanding of, oh, I can rewire my brain to do something different. I just need to figure out where it's coming from or what I'm scared of. In those instances, a lot of what I need to get up and do is record content or brand deals or other things like that. And instead of actually getting up to do it, because I know that this could be a successful venture and it could really take off, and then now I have to be successful and I have to be this creator that everyone is looking at, I don't do it because subconsciously I must be holding on to the fact that I know this could be successful, and really the person who's ultimately suffering is myself. That's why it's really important you have an understanding of what is making this happen or tick, so that way you can start to identify what you can do to stop it. The second step is practicing conscious acceptance. I don't know if anyone else feels like this, but for me, sometimes I can really struggle to accept a compliment or just accept that I know things actually are as good as they are. A lot of times I will deflect the compliment or just like give it back to the person. But as we are trying to really get ourselves out of this cycle, it is really important to just accept what is. So when you are receiving a compliment, a big win just happens, or you just have a genuine moment of peace, sit in it. As challenging as that may feel, just sit in it. Take a breath in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds, and just sit with the feeling. It may feel uncomfortable, but you are allowed to experience joy. And the only way that your body is going to be trained to feel that way is to practice sitting in the uncomfortableness of it. The third thing is, as we're noticing these patterns, we want to start interrupting them where they start. One of these patterns might be having a downward spiral of thinking, I'm not enough, this is too hard, just having negative thoughts around the opportunity or idea, period. So when you recognize that you are starting to self-sabotage, interrupt these thoughts. Start to replace these negative thoughts with pre-written affirmations that you have for yourself in these moments. So replacing things like, I don't deserve this with, I earned this, replacing I'm going to fail with, I'm capable, and so on and so forth. Have a positive for every negative that you think, so you have affirmations in your back pocket to reassure yourself that you are deserving of these opportunities. And then the fourth step we have in this process is to microdose. And not the kind you're thinking. We are microdosing success. Ultimately, you are not going to be able to solve every problem at once. You are not going to be able to sit in all of your success and be comfortable with it right away. It is going to take some time, and you're going to have to ease yourself into it if you are someone who tends to lean in the self-sabotaging realm. So start to look at small, consistent increases that you can do to make yourself a little bit uncomfortable, because this will inherently increase your tolerance for success. So if you are scared of making a certain amount of money, add an extra dollar to the end of the amount you are scared to make. So then when you do hit your goal, it feels extra good because you actually reached a little bit above what you were even comfortable going for in the first place. And in turn, hopefully this won't trigger a full-on panic attack. Ultimately, your capacity for success is only as much as your joy will allow for. There's nothing that says we are going to get it right every time, but these small steps that we start to take hopefully help us tackle self-sabotage. And a piece I want to leave you with is that I actually listened to the podcast with Emma Greed and Jara, the founder of Amicole, recently. And something that really resonated with me was when she said that when you are deserving of your moment, it will always be there. And that's something that stuck with me as someone who self-sabotages and has big opportunities that fall into my lap, and I just procrastinate and sit on them and wait for the right time to jump up. It's like, stop doing that to yourself, because you have an opportunity, you have something sitting in your lap that is meant for you and only you. So get up, do the thing. I know our brain is tricking us into thinking that we don't deserve it, but we do. So start accepting that. Follow the steps so you can undo some of this behavior to self-sabotage and really bask in who you are and what your accomplishments are that have led you to this place. I'm going to get up off my high horse because I think we both know we have some work to do. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Let's Have Breakfast.